In this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how I plan, structure, and write email copy for clients that pay me overall $10K every single month. And in this very video, you guys are going to get access to all of the templates, scripts, and copywriting strategies that I use myself. But first and foremost, what even goes into writing a great piece of copy? Well, it really just comes down to three main parts: compiling, creating, and revising. Look, a lesson that I learned from a legendary marketer named Jason Capital, you might know him, is that copy really isn't written, it's more like assembled. Another extremely important thing to know is that taking from one person makes you a plagiarist. Taking from a bunch of people just means you're doing research. And this is exactly why we need to compile materials from around the whole internet on how to create good copy in this particular niche or for whoever you are writing for. Then all it really takes is building out a blueprint, okay? And of course, I already have blueprints built out for you, and then filling in the blanks essentially, and then you will come out with a great piece of copy. And then with that great piece of copy, then we go through and refine and make it a perfect piece of copy. Okay, so starting off, we are going to need a material list for our blueprint in the future. So what exactly do we need? Like, first and foremost, like I said, we need to compile what is called a swipe file. Swipe file, essentially, it's a whole document of a collection of emails or witty one-liners that you want to use in your future emails or copywriting. Well, Tyson, how do we actually create a swipe file? Well, the easiest way to create a swipe file is to not create a swipe file, because I have one already built out for you. It's in the free copy starter kit that you can get down below in the description for, again, free. But a great way that you can start your own swipe file is just by signing up to as many newsletters as you can from the top marketers and the top brands. Essentially, if they're giving away something for free, or if they just have an email newsletter sign up on their website, then those are great places to actually give people your email, and then they will be emailing you from then on. Another great way is to just go to sales pages. So if you ever get ads on Instagram, or you see any business owners or business owner profiles on Instagram, you can essentially click the links in their bio, go to their website, go to whatever their sales page they have, and actually look at all the copy that is written in there. Now guys, look, a swipe file is so crucial because all of this stuff is already done for you, okay? Look, in copywriting, you can do things like market research and avatar research and researching your target audience and doing all this, but realistically, that's the long way and the hard way to go about it, especially when you're just starting off, because most likely that research is already done for you, either by your clients that you already are working with or by people that are in the exact niche that your client is in. So now that we have a huge swipe file of copy from A, our client, and B, a whole bunch of other people at the top of our client's niche, the next thing that we need is to come up with a main angle/idea. A great thing to ask yourself is just, what am I really trying to say here? And just stick to one idea. And of course, I'm gonna go through and give you guys all examples of what I'm talking about and actually build it out for you as you watch me. But for right now, I'm just giving you guys the material list. And then next up, we're going to have to answer the most burning question, which is, what's in it for me? Okay, so everybody is self-interested. They only care about themselves, and that is completely normal. But you have to answer the what's in it for me at the very beginning of any email or sales page or any piece of copy in general. The reason being is because if you just start an email and hop right into a story, for example, and people don't even know who you are, then they're not just gonna read the email just because of the story most of the times. And I mean, you'll see this with any YouTube video or any video sales letter or any piece of copy, is that when you're just first starting out, they're gonna tell you either why what they're about to tell you is important or how it can benefit you. Now, the next thing that you're going to ask yourself is, what is the desired action after reading your piece of copy? Remember, copywriting essentially is just a persuasive form of writing that gets people to take action, whether that's to click a link, to reply to an email, to go here, do this, do that, or whatever, okay, whatever it is. So what is the actual goal of the email? Is it to just build a relationship, give them value, and ask for nothing in return? Is it to ask them to follow you on another social media platform? Is it for them to buy something for you through a link? All of these things are very, very, very different, and you're gonna have to know how to actually implement each one of them into your piece of copy. The next thing you're gonna wanna ask yourself is, why exactly is the person reading going to want to complete your action now rather than later. And guys, providing an actual piece of proof to urgency is absolutely huge. Okay, I'll tell you something that I learned from Alex Hormozi in his latest book, $100 Million Leads. He said that when people cut in line, right? So you're just waiting in line and somebody cuts in front of you and they just don't care, or they don't give you a reason as to why, then they're more likely going to be upset about it, okay? And they're more likely gonna make a fuss. But if you cut in line of somebody and you say, hey man, I'm cutting in line because I already hopped out of line, or this was my spot before, or I know my homeboy who's already in line. If you just give them a reason, even if it's a weak reason, it will still more likely get you to be in the front of the line and cut in line without any trouble. So make sure that when you're using urgency, you provide proof. So a bad example of this is people saying, oh, well, make sure you get this ebook, otherwise it's going to run out. And it's like, bro, how does an ebook run out? It's literally a PDF. You can send as many PDFs as you want, so that wouldn't make any sense. A better offer would be, look, if you get this ebook within the next 48 hours, I'll give you my second ebook or my other ebook for completely free. I mean, that's a way better way to introduce urgency into the matter. Okay, so look, now we have all of the materials to build a great piece of copy. So then next is actually coming up and following a blueprint / a structure. Now, look, my people, I have a full 4-hour free copywriting course on this channel where I go over absolutely everything, a whole bunch of structures, and show you examples of each and every structure one by one. So in this video, I'm gonna gloss over a little bit quickly, and we're just gonna cover one structure and we're gonna fill it out. Now we're gonna go over a structure that I personally created called the AHR structure, which I've never actually revealed anywhere before. But essentially it stands for agree, handle, and reflect. So here's exactly how this structure works and why it works so well. So the first part of the AHR structure is to agree. Agree with a common objection. So when you agree with a common objection as to why people wouldn't start your thing or believe you, now you're actually going against the grain as to what they might think. For example, imagine if you were the creators of Lamborghini and you were like, yeah, Lamborghinis are overpriced. Now, all of a sudden, that's got your attention, because everyone else is gonna come out here and tell you, oh, well, my stuff is the best, and it's the best price ever, and it's the best thing ever, and there's no downsides whatsoever. So when you actually agree to a downside and address it and address people's objections, instantly it completely disrupts the pattern and catches their attention. So first and foremost, we want to agree with the common objection. Then we want to handle the common objection. So yes, the objection might be correct, or there might be some truth to the objection, but the fact of the matter is, and then we're gonna handle the objection. So Lamborghinis are way too expensive, but the reason as to why they're so expensive is, for one, exclusivity. You know what? A bunch of your neighbors would just be driving Lambos, because then your Lambo looks less cool. And then number two is that it has the best and high quality parts. You know exactly where your money is going. And then of course, the last part of the AHR structure is to reflect, okay? Reflect that negative into a positive. And this is something that's useful in all of business and of course all of life too. So again, bringing it back to the Lamborghini example, because the price is so high, it makes it more exclusive, okay? And this can be done with literally anything. And of course, after you reflect the negative into a positive, you're going to want to tell them exactly what to do next and have a call to action. So when would we use a structure like this? Essentially, this would be an email that you would send somewhere around the middle or the end of your email sequence, probably about 5 to 8 to 10 emails in. The reason why you wouldn't want to start it off just off the bat like that is because in order for something to be a pattern disrupt, there has to be a pattern established, okay? And this is complete email copywriting sauce that most people wouldn't tell you. But essentially, if you just send people 5 emails about how something is absolutely great, 5 emails as to why dropshipping is the absolute best, and then the 6th email is just saying, hey, dropshipping is oversaturated or something like that, right? Agreeing with the common objection. Now everybody's gonna be like, damn, this whole dropshipping guru is talking about how dropshipping is saturated. I got to see exactly what he has to say. And of course, the most difficult part is handling those objections while agreeing with them at the same time, because what you don't want to do is essentially clickbait people, where you say, hey man, dropshipping is oversaturated. And in the email, then you say, dropshipping is not oversaturated. You might say dropshipping is oversaturated, but the majority of people who try dropshipping only open up one store, they half-ass it for like 2 minutes, and then they just move on to something else, right? So yeah, there's a lot of people in it, but there's not many people who are actually serious about it. That's why if you're serious about it, then of course you can be successful with it, just like anything. So now I'm actually going to show you an example of how this all works and exactly how I would write it. So let's hop into my laptop over here. As you can see, I use my man, Brandon Carter, as an example. So here's the swipe file, right? Here's an email that I actually got from him and I actually read. Now, the reason as to why this is so important is because, of course, now I get to know exactly what he talks about, what he talks like, and what his offer is. So let's go through it and actually read it. First and foremost, have you ever seen that movie called The Founder? It's about that guy, Ray Kroc, who founded McDonald's. He once said, if you're not a risk taker, you should get the hell out of business. And to an extent, he's right. When it comes to building a business, you'll end up taking a lot of risks. It might be quitting your day job to give yourself more hours towards your business. It might be dropping some cash to build a website or a product line. Or it might be developing a product or service in a crazy competitive space. And when you think stock market, you think about risk the most. But remember what I said a few days ago. Risk is proportional to lack of knowledge. If you're setting up a bunch of dynamite to tear down an old building, you best know what the hell you're doing, because a novice could end up blowing everyone to smithereens. Okay, so here's the lesson. I'm just going to skip the lesson and go all the way to the bottom. So if you even have a tiny interest in making $100 to $500 a day from stocks online, learn it from me. Don't learn it from Stock Bro, who has no idea what he's doing. Just because he watched The Wolf of Wall Street 3 times doesn't make him an expert. I've actually been making consistent money from this for years. So just copy what I'm doing and you'll be 100% straight. Register here before the time runs out. Tyson, best. Okay, so here's his registration form. It is now currently closed because this was actually a couple weeks ago. But I actually got a lot of ideas from this email. So when I actually went through this email, essentially he's kind of doing what I was saying, right? So risk is a huge objection that a lot of people have. And what he's saying here is he's essentially agreeing with it. Yes, there is risk when it comes to the stock market. There is risk to trading. And the handle is, if you know what you're doing, then you can take better risks, right? You can take calculated risks. And then he reflects it by saying, if you want to know how I've been able to be profitable for so long while taking these risks, then you can basically copy my strategy and copy exactly what I do. So I made an email essentially based on that, just kind of from a different idea and a different angle. Okay, I'll show you and read that to you exactly right now. So again, the building blocks, okay, the building blocks. What am I really trying to say here in this email? You may lose money in the very short term, but will profit over the long term with a good strategy. That's essentially what I'm trying to say. What's in it for me, and why should anyone care? Well, because learning how to trade can earn people an extra $100 to $500 a day with minimal work. And what do you want the person to do? What's the main goal of the email, and how will you achieve this goal? So I want them to sign up for the class by highlighting the viability of trading with a profitable strategy and giving them training for free. That's what my goal is, and that's why they should actually go ahead and complete my goal. And of course, before I actually move on, I want to again remind you that all of this, everything that you see, all the templates, all the examples, everything will be held inside of the free copy starter kit down in the description. So if you haven't gotten that yet, I think you're a little bit crazy. You definitely need to. So here is the word for word example of my email. So the subject line is, I lost 13K today. Don't make this mistake. Now, the reason as to why it would be powerful is because you can see that it has an actual pain point, right? Nobody wants to lose money. So it's essentially saying, I lost money. Here's how you don't make the same mistake, right? Now, notice that this is a good subject line because of the good idea, but it's a little bit long. The way that you can shorten it, okay, and you can shorten pretty much any subject line, and you always want to shorten the subject line so that it's nice and punchy and short. So, I lost 13K today. Avoid this mistake, okay? So saying don't make is 2 words. You're using up more characters. You're using up valuable subject line space, all right? So this was my original idea. And of course, I changed it and made it better by just saying I lost 13K today. Avoid this mistake, all right? These are small things, of course, that not a lot of people are going to teach you or show you how to do, but they're extremely, extremely important, okay? Hey, first name, yesterday I lost a whopping 13K. And in this email, I'm going to show you how to avoid the same mistake I made. Because one of the most common things that keeps people away from day trading is the risk of losing money. And to be honest, I've lost a lot of money, but I've made it all back and then some. So in reality, I never actually lose. Take yesterday, for example. I fired up my laptop like always, stuck to my profitable trading plan, and ended up losing 13K. This morning, I did the exact same thing. But this time, I ended up with 22K in profit, not only wiping out yesterday's losses, but also netting me an extra 9K over 2 days. That's the great thing about trading. Of course, you'll have days where you lose money, but the most important thing is that every week is profitable. So don't let the possibility of a little short-term loss stop you from making an extra $100 to $500 a day. After all, first name, getting rich is about taking calculated risks. And if you're ready to learn this process step by step, click here to register for my upcoming free day trading masterclass. You have nothing to lose and $100 to $500 a day to gain. Limited seats are available. Sign up ASAP so you don't miss out. See you there. So again, urgency, as we can see, the limited seats are available. So when you're running a free training, right, usually you would limit seats because either you have software limitations, so only so Zoom, for example, a lot of the times, depending on your plan, you can only have like 100 people in there, okay? And then, other types of limitations that you have behind your webinar and how many seats are available. So let's take it from the top and actually break this down, okay? So the hook of the email, I lost 13K, and I'm gonna show you how to avoid the same mistake. And they're gonna be like, okay, that's what's in it for me. That's why I'm reading this email. Good. And then it addresses something that's common, right? A lot of people stay away from this because you can lose money. Okay, so again, addressing the objection. And to be honest, I've lost a lot of money. So it's kind of like when you're talking to a salesman and you're talking about, okay, well, what's the best possible deal I can get? And the salesman will say something like, well, you can get this over here, full coverage, but that's like 14K. So I wouldn't really go for that one. Honestly, the better deal is probably the 80% coverage for 10K. Okay. When they say something like that, essentially they are selling you more on the 10K option rather than the 14K option. You see, the 14K option isn't even there for them to sell it to you. It's there to make the 10K option seem like a better deal. Okay. Why is that? Because when a salesman is taking you away from the highest price option, all of a sudden you trust them more. And it's kind of like here, when you actually address people's objection, they're going to trust you more rather than if you were somebody who just spouts off about the upsides, and the positives. So you address the negative, it will go a very, very long way. But I've made it back and then some. So this is where I actually get into handling the objection. Okay, so yeah, whatever. I lose money on a day-to-day basis, but I gain money every single week. And now it got the gears turning. It got people actually thinking. Ended up losing 13K. Did the exact same thing the next day. Ended up 22K profit, making me profitable by 9K over the 2 days. And that's the great thing about trading. Of course, you'll have days where you lose. Weeks will be profitable. Okay, so then I actually reflect it, right? This is where I do the reflect. So yes, you'll lose money, but here's why that negative is actually positive. Because overall, you'll make money. Because it's calculated risks. Okay, so that's the learning lesson as well. That's the value in here. And then of course I transitioned it to the CTA. Click here to register for my free upcoming masterclass. And then of course a little bit of scarcity / urgency. You have nothing to lose, $500 to gain, risk reversal, limited seats. Boom. So very, very simple type of email. Okay, and I have another example, but this time actually with a copywriter example. So subject line. AI stole all my clients. Warning. And then preview. Here's why they still pay me. So AI stole my clients, but they still pay me. Now people are like, okay, so the biggest objection when it comes to copywriting, of course, is AI. Copywriters are like, well, what if AI gets really good and then replaces me? And here I actually I handle their objection. So first name, AI stole my copywriting clients, and it'll probably steal yours too. But here's why that's a good thing. Now, people are really hooked in. They're like, wait, AI stole your clients. Wait, AI is going to steal my clients. Wait, it's a good thing. So I'm going to show you exactly why. See, 80% of my clients' copy is written by AI. but I'm still the one getting paid to do it. That's facts. That's true. This is true email. It's a true story. See, first name, ChatGPT writes copy that is complete dookie balls out of 10. This dude's spitting facts right here. I don't know who wrote this, but he's spitting facts. Unless you know how to use AI correctly. Otherwise, your copy will be littered with, I hope this email finds you well. Hello, fellow copywriter. The art of copywriting. No, this is absolute facts, true story. If you throw in an email prompt to ChatGPT, it's going to give you some complete robotic dookie. All corny and robotic lines commonly produced by ChatGPT. All it takes is a bit of copywriting skills combined with AI, and you can write better copy in half the time. This is exactly how I was able to go from writing copy 5 hours a day to writing copy for only 3 hours a day, having an extra 2 hours to find more clients, write more copy, or even just relax. AI won't replace you, first name, but a copywriter using AI will. So if you want to master the art of AI copywriting, I have a free YouTube video that you can check out here. Boom. And then the sign off. Okay. Absolute bangers after bangers after bangers. This email structure, all of it, bangers. So here are some other examples if you're struggling with coming up with objection or common objection. So this was one I kind of mentioned before, but objection, agree. Dropshipping is oversaturated. Handle. Everyone is using the old dropshipping methods that suck. Reverse. This is I teach a new method called pop shipping. That's not drop shipping, it's called pop shipping, all right? Now, that's not actually a real thing. I don't know what that means, but it's a perfect example, right? Everybody does drop shipping the old way. I have a new system of drop shipping that's not oversaturated. So that's a perfect objection handle and reflecting a negative into a positive, okay? Imagine if you got an email saying drop shipping is oversaturated. And everybody's like, oh no, he's saying drop shipping is oversaturated. Let me go read this email. Dropshipping is oversaturated, but this new model of dropshipping is untapped. Man, bro, right there. That's what I'm talking about. You're doing whatever that email tells you. You're clicking on that link. Next, objection, agree. Only 6-figure earners can invest in property or in real estate. Okay, this is also something that's very, very common. A very, very common objection as to why people don't get started investing in real estate. And the handle, this is what deters most people, which leaves more opportunity for you. And then the reverse, get loans from the bank so that you can invest in cash flow. Okay. If you don't know too much about real estate, essentially you get a loan from the bank. You have to pay them back over time in like the form of a mortgage or whatever. I don't know that much about it either. Okay. But essentially you can cash flow, meaning you pay the bank $1,100 a month. Your property nets you $2,000 a month. So then that's $900 every single month, completely cash flow. All right. And so these are just some examples that will help you in the future if you're struggling with coming up with the AHR method of copywriting structures. So guys, now you know exactly how I would write, structure, and strategize a whole email that I would make for my clients and make over 10K a month with copywriting. Anyways, everybody, all the resources that you need that are in this video are linked down below in the description in the free copy starter kit. Also, feel free to join the free copywriting Discord server so that you can actually submit your copywriting after it's finished, have other copywriters go through and review it, and review other copywriters' work, add more to your swipe file. I mean, there's so many resources and so many chats and so much value in that community. Anyways, guys, that's it for today. And of course, I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.